Big, incredible, great news. Boy, it's just can't get any more exciting than this. As Joe Biden's economic stimulus plan is revealed, it's a combination of campaign details and transition plans, hazard pay, stimulus checks, FPUC. All the numbers are out. Incredible, great stuff. Mitch McConnell has the Senate back in session. He says stimulus is coming. Stimulus is first priority. Wall Street has last distractions as the new Pfizer vaccine is announced. It's all incredible, great news. It's only Monday afternoon. I'm so excited for you. And oh yeah, $200 a month additional for SSDI, SSI, and Social Security benefits. This is mornings. No, it's afternoons, LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm so excited. I can't even remember if it's mornings or afternoons or evenings. But, you know, it's nice and sunny outside. The lighting's good, and I'm here. You are here. The toast doesn't need to be toasting because this is afternoons, LALATE. So I'm so excited for you. Incredible, great news about stimulus. Stimulus coming. Second stimulus, third stimulus. I mean, I've never seen such exciting, great news across the board today. But it's important that you follow with me because it's going to be a little confusing as to where the news is coming from. And you want to be informed about it, so stay with me. Also, I'll be going live, taped live, and, you know, maybe I'll be holding some frontons. So you make sure you subscribe. Subscribe to the Funnest channel so you do not miss a minute in which a new video comes live. I literally have this much to record in this video, and I have almost 5 times that amount of details to give you in the next 2 hours, so please subscribe. Also, like this video. 20 minutes after this, I will be going over hazard pay. Yes, it's back on. Don't miss that. That's in purple. Then 30 minutes after that is Being a Mitch. I'll have big details about unemployment, UI, PUA, FPUC. Don't miss that. That's in Being a Mitch. And then finally, the street and stimulus. I have big details about everything and more on your stimulus and grants. Oh my God, it's a great afternoon. Let's get over what's coming up in this recording. First, I will be going over stimulus checks, FPUC, hazard pay, broad stroke, because I'm going to deal more of that detailed 30 minutes from now. $200 a week, $200 a month for SSDI, SSI, and Social Security benefits. And then all the exciting news coming from Mitch, and also student debt forgiveness. I have to look at my notes because there's so much going on, and more. Boy, it's just a big day. It's a big day, and I'm so excited for you. So let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you sit here today is that Joe Biden is rolling out documents after documents, sort of hard to keep track with them, and it's important that you stay track with me. So I'm going to give you the most important thing right up on the bat, and so I want you to take mental note of this right now. Joe Biden has a transition website as the president-elect that is announcing policies since Saturday. Plans for your stimulus since Saturday. Do you follow me so far? This is plans in the context of Mitch McConnell and the GOP controlling the Senate. That's there, okay? Then, Broadcast News is making the confusion of citing Joe Biden's campaign promises for stimulus relief on the belief that the Democrats are going to take the Senate. They're citing that news as new news today, but not explaining to you he said that when he thought the GOP was going to fall in the Senate. So what you and I are going to do is I'm going to make it very clear every step of the way when I say this is something he said over the weekend for transition versus this is what he said back earlier during the campaign. And so you understand there's a context. Understand Mitch McConnell is not going to give you $600 a week, for example, for FPUC. So I'm going to say that Biden wants to give you $600 a week for FPUC. You know that Mitch is not going to do that. That's sort of an example. And I'm going to say the $600 a week, Joe said that during the campaign. He didn't say it over the weekend. You got it? All right. So now we're on the same page. Let's get to the breaking details. Joe Biden wants to send out stimulus checks, FPUC, hazard pay, Social Security, SSDI money Student loan forgiveness, eviction moratorium, mortgage forbearance. Am I missing something? Rent relief. There's a lot in here. Let me go over each of them. First, stimulus checks. Joe Biden will send out stimulus checks as often as needed and as long as represented. Those are basically his words. So what's important to understand is his words sound like stimulus, multiple stimulus checks, hashtag MSE, and also sounds like continuing for a while. And what else does it sound like? Yeah, it sounds exactly like the Harris plan. She wanted a stimulus check every month until the pandemic goes away or unemployment improves. And guess what? We now know that the virus has a vaccine, and the virus vaccine will go out in some distribution in December and some distribution in January, February, but the vast majority of Americans will not have it by January. And so it's important to understand is that what Joe's saying, I'll send you out multiple stimulus checks as needed until we're out of this pandemic. Okay, so that statement was made during the campaign. It is not made this weekend. Next, let's go to unemployment benefits. And I'll come back to checks in a moment when we go over the amount. Unemployment benefits. He wants $600 a week for FPUC that expired in July, however long the crisis lasts. Again, really great news. First, the amount, $600 a week. Second, retroactive to late July. Third, continuing until the pandemic goes away. All of that, I think, could survive with Mitch, with the exception of the $600 a week. Yeah, let's tone it down, Joe. $600 a week is not going to pass with Mitch. Then, SSI and SSDI. Oh, my God. President-elect Joe Biden wants Social Security recipients who are on SSD and SSDI. Let me say that again slower. Joe Biden wants Social Security recipients and SSI and SSDI beneficiaries to get an additional $200 a month until the pandemic goes away. This was proposed by Senators Ron Wynn and Elizabeth Warren. Again, this was a campaign promise. It was not announced over the weekend. I'll have more about that in a second. Next, they want the federal government to pay 100% of COBRA insurance for people who lost their jobs during the pandemic. Then he wants to ensure that families have enough conditions paid for to put them back to pre-pandemic conditions. Then he wants to forgive $10,000 of student loan federal debt per student. Then, and as to that, he says young people and other student debt holders should not bear the brunt of the crisis. Then he wants to pay hazard pay. You see how quickly I'm going? We're only 7 minutes mark. I'm at the 8th provision so far. Hazard pay. He wants to pay hazard pay. Enact premiums for frontline workers that put themselves at risk. He wants to pay the Heroes Fund. What? Yes. Did you hear that? That's not the sound next door. That's the Heroes. He wants to put hazard pay back in. Oh, my God. Finally, someone's putting friggin' hazard pay back in. You and I have fought so hard to put hazard pay in, fought for SSDI people to get additional cost of living increases, and all these things are just category incredible. So his campaign promise was to put hazard pay back in. That's $15 an hour. I'll go over the calculation of that. I'll go over the calculation of the hazard pay in the video right after this because it's just so much. As to his statement over the weekend, the campaign transition statement, he reassured that he's paying hazard pay, provide state and local and tribal governments with the aid so that educators, firefighters, and other essential workers are not laid off. So then let me go to the individual provisions. Student debt. Well, Joe Biden has said it's important that students with federal debts not have to deal with a problem of unable to pay their debt because of the COVID. So this was first proposed by Senator Elizabeth Warren to cancel $50,000 in student debt for individuals with household incomes under $100,000, where Bernie Sanders wants to erase all of the educational debt. He's going to work with both of them. Biden's proposal is narrower, that he would forgive $10,000 in student debt for all federal borrowers, and the rest of the debt for those who attended public colleges or historically black colleges and universities and earn less than $125,000 a year. Basically, if you're not making $125,000 a year, you could have your entire federal debt forgiven. Wow. Let's go to my SSDI, SSI, and Social Security Railroad Benefits viewers. Let me go over that thing that I talked about with you for $200 per month. Now, again, understand this is a campaign plan, not a transition plan. When I say the difference about that, it's important for you to understand Joe is not proposing this yet in the campaign transition. Excuse me, in the transition plan. It doesn't mean it won't be there. But you would presume that now that he knows the GOP is in control of the Senate, that he can't be as aggressive. And for example, asking $600 a week for FPUC, he has to tailor it back, $450, $500. So would this survive? I don't know, but I fully want to disclose to you that it was a campaign plan. It's not a transition plan yet announced, but his transition plan is not complete. It's only discussing some initial things, and he's going to update it for you. So how did this come out? It came out in a op-ed released by Elizabeth Warren on March 21st, which Joe Biden thereafter co-signed, and it works as following. We are pushing to include in Congress's next stimulus package a $200 increase in the monthly benefit for all Social Security, veterans, and supplemental SSDI beneficiaries through the end of 2021. End of 2021, not 2020. This would put an additional $4,000 in the pockets of seniors and people with disabilities who have earned this benefit by contributing to Social Security with every paycheck. A simple benefit increase like this would improve the lives of millions of Americans and help the economy stabilize and recover. Providing Americans with a one-time cash payments of both parties have suggested will certainly make many families the much cushion of the cost of benefits necessary for food and rent. We should not neglect Social Security and unemployment insurance. This is incredible. Increasing Social Security benefits is the quickest way to get money out the door during the economic crisis. Congress has done this before. Beneficiaries of Social Security and SSI received a one-time $250 benefit after the 2008 economic crisis as part of the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. This is absolutely incredible. Now, let me sort of digest all that and go back to checks. What's important for you to understand is that just everything is circling and everything is swinging. And when you turn on the broadcast news, they're talking about this, they're talking about that. And there's so much out there. And you sort of wonder, okay, what can survive? You and I we talk turkey. We don't play games here. So I want you to understand that Mitch and the GOP is in control of the Senate. So you walk into the Senate, hi, I'm Joe Biden. I want to send out $30,000 per person. You're talking to Mitch McConnell. $30,000 or $30. Well, I want to send out $50,000 per person. There's that Lifeline grant. I want to give $80,000 per person. You're talking to Mitch McConnell here. Even Sir Lloyd would say, move over. It doesn't make sense. It's like, take it in, back it up, Joe. It's, So what you need to understand is that Joe Biden's proposals are very robust, very exciting, and very promising. But for now, he's only announced really on his website an economic recovery plan, which is about 7 to 8 paragraphs in length, and it does not go into incredible detail. All this detail is both that and the campaign plans, which have to be tailored back. They're not going to survive in the enormous, robust 5-figure, 6-figure, payouts. You'll get something, presumably, but not an enormous sum like Elizabeth Warren or other people want, $10,000, $20,000 per person. So what's incredible great news is that someone is on path to give you what you're owed and what you need. Stimulus checks, let's go back to that. The most important thing that you need to remember for stimulus checks is, you know what I'm about to say. Can you fill in the blank? Yeah, you can fill in the blank. It's that unused CARES Act 1 PP money. It's important to understand that you and I are the Purple Power. The followers of this channel are Purple Power. I called you the Purple Power. I created the spirit of bipartisan getting things through, whether we're Republicans or Democrats, and getting it through and getting it in a way that we appease and please both sides of the political spectrum. And coming in and say, hey, I want to pay everyone $90,000 to get through this pandemic. It's just like, okay, we're not going to do that. But we're also not going to pay everyone $90 or $900. So we have to find a commonality. And today there was a concern about how big this national debt is growing. And the way you deal with that is that $800 billion of CARES Act 1 money that's sitting at SBA. You repurpose it for stimulus checks. You make sure it goes out in a way that it lands in your hands. It's important to understand that everyone is starting to rebound that is corporate America. Everyone is starting to rebound that makes great sums of money. But the heart of America, people who make less than 32,000, people on SSDI, SSI, need this benefit right now. And what's important when you hear all these different programs, stimulus checks does not replace those things. And when I talk about stimulus check, it doesn't mean you're not going to get something in addition to stimulus check. So you should really get stimulus checks to survive this pandemic, and you need multiple stimulus checks or a robust stimulus check. And so what you need to be doing is be on social media, taking these videos, sending them on Facebook, and sending out the message. How much is $800 billion for a stimulus check? $5,000. $5,000. And it was funny because I was on someone else's video, a friend of mine today, and I saw some of the comments that like, use the CARES Act 1 money for get a $5,000 stimulus check out. I'm like, oh, they must have been my viewers. Nice to see you there. Hello. So get the message out. Ultimately, you want to make sure that Joe uses that money and repurposes it for you and doesn't repurpose it, for the casino. Let's go to your incredible questions and comments from yesterday's video. Lewis, Mitch needs to get the money that is sitting around and give us a big check because we've been waiting so long and it sure would help right now. So Lois Watson absolutely gets it correct. This is what's incredibly empowering from viewers of this channel. You take the information, you forward the information, you share the information, and you tell others about this information. And you find a common ground. Mitch needs to understand that, hey, you don't want to raise the national debt. You don't want to raise the second stimulus package over 1.5. You perhaps are not even happy with the number 1.5. We can do it even better, taking that $800 billion and sending it out as a stimulus check. Mandra, we need the stimulus before Christmas. Michael, it would be nice if we had a double dose of stimulus checks in our account. Diane, Purple Power, we need our stimulus now. Arlene, this is so great to hear. You're doing a wonderful job. Everyone can use the money. Thank you. You're a lot of help. Well, I appreciate that. Teresa, what about utilities and holding them back for now? That's a great question. I deal with that now and then. If you're on a lockdown, most cities or counties that put you on the lockdown make the utilities companies not come to an agreement that they'll not bill, that they will not turn off your utilities and not cause you a late payment charge or anything. And if you cannot make your utilities during the lockdown, you would not have them turned off. Moreover, the stimulus plans also pay you money for rent and utilities. So that's what incredible great news. Charles, Temple Doom. Denise, I'm just happy they took Nancy's hands off the language. Beverly, we need to have a perfect stimulus before Christmas. Scott Halfield, when do you think might be the earliest we get the stimulus checks? If everyone gets their heads screwed on right away. I mean, I looked at the Senate session. They're in session, every single day almost for the next few weeks. Antonio Perez, and God we trust. Sharon, thank you for the question. I was wondering if the president didn't sign it. You answered my question. Yes, so the president doesn't sign it. It goes back to the Senate. And if it's a bill that the senators and the House want, they're going to override the veto in 1 second. It just, you don't need the president to sign the bill. Stacy, God bless everyone. Well, God bless you too, Stacy. Craig, $1,200 is not enough. Agree, Craig. Debbie, good evening, LA and Purple Power family. Praying for straight, yes. G. Maria, sending blessings to the Purple Power family. Wow. If you have questions or comments in today's video, drop them in the comments below. Might feature them in tomorrow's recording. Please subscribe because, boy, we're having a ball here because we're getting the information out. We're focusing on what's true, what's new, what's old, what's present, and push. We're going to get it done. You feel the spirit. You feel the energy. Let's do it. And also like this video. Coming up next is Purple, in which I'm going to go over hazard pay. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay about life for more.